we wonder why they'll vote somebody who does not look good on paper from our lens.
Okay.
But good example, Sonko went to the ground completely.
Yes.
Everybody knew if I need something, I can call Sonko's team and they'll show up.
Yeah.
Right? So we are here like wondering, why would you vote for Sonko? He's solving a problem on the ground.
He's solving an immediate problem that the people have.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because we are physically, or should I say we are geographically displaced from people at home.
Disconnected, yes.
Where there's that disconnect of what's actually on the ground.
Utakuwa na mtu amekuja hapa amekaa Borimo miaka kadhaa, amezoea efficiency ya Borimo, mwe maisha yake anakompewa Matangi na Jonio.
Now, every election season, Kenyans in America gather on social media and WhatsApp groups to confidently explain who Kenya should elect. We celebrate viral speeches, condemn tribal voters, and sometimes declare a new political messiah without having to live under the government we recommend. But tonight, we want to ask an uncomfortable question. Are we seeing Kenya's 2027 election as truly as it looks on the ground, or are we interpreting it through an American political lens? Our guest tonight, Ruth Kilungu, is uniquely positioned to challenge us. Ruth previously joined us to explain why she returned to Kenya after years in the diaspora. She went back, lived among the people whose political choices we debate from abroad, and is currently visiting America with a perspective many of us simply do not have. Ruth will help us examine whether Edwin Sifuna is building a genuine national movement or merely dominating the internet. She'll also talk about whether the Gen Z anger has turned into voter registration. We're also going to discuss whether tribal politics is disappearing or only changing form, and why huge rallies, viral clips, and passionate crowds do not always become votes. We'll then ask whether diasporans understand the survival calculations behind Kenyan voting, or if we are projecting an Obama story onto a system built under different realities.
It's, I'm in finance, and so every finance person knows, especially if you have the fiscal year schedule, like the July to June.
Mm-hmm.
June, July is quite a bit busy trying to make sure that, everything is in. You're doing budgeting, you're closing on budget and stuff. And so I had to come back stateside for fun stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's just for a month, and then I'll be exiting soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've not given up and moved back. You're just here.
I will
briefly
move. I've decided I'm moving back next year.
Oh my goodness. So you've already given up.
I have not given up.
As in permanent. Yani, forget those things of ATCG, give me 6 months, ATCG, the tax, CG, I don't know, blah.
They're still there. Why do you have to bring them up? They're still there. But like, I think I can squeak out 3-4 months in a year, especially around allergy season, because I barely leave the house. So what's the point of being around? So that's what I've decided. From next year, I'm not around allergy season, but I'll be here the rest of the year.
So how is that moving permanently?
I'll be mainly based there. Like, I will have a house here.
Okay.
Oh, so you're coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was slow. Sorry, Ali.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Now, Ruth, before we get started on tonight's conversation, maybe just quickly tell us, because tonight's conversation is going to be about politics. What is one thing you believed about Kenyan politics while living in America that you can no longer defend after now living in Kenya? Ruth.
I think last time I was here, I mischaracterized what I was like. I'd given up on politics. I think that was not a good explanation of what I meant. But I think this topic does help me articulate that much better. What I thought Kenyan politics are not. I think we do try to look at them from a U.S. Lens, and how the U.S. does its politics. That's not how Kenya does politics. For the most part, majority of Americans are middle class, and so like there is stability economically. That is not so with Kenya, and so and also groupings, how the country is grouped, like how people have settled. That plays a huge part in how we vote, and so I I've decided to take a back seat. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am involved in the sense of like I'm paying attention, I'm watching, I'm listening, I'm talking to people, but I'm not quick to start saying, oh, you all should do this, or why would you do that? I think we have a lot of civic education to do. We have a lot of the ground is different, and I see a generation, this Gen Z, deciding we want things to be done differently, but they have a huge task ahead of them. There's the youth vote, but there's the old people vote, and what they've been doing has worked for them, quote unquote. When I say quote unquote, it's like that's what they know, and they've done it over and over again. And so that's why we see they're voting along tribal lines, they're voting around. We wonder why they'll vote somebody who does not look good on paper from our lens.
Okay.
But good example, Songo. Songo went to the ground completely.
Yes.
Everybody knew if I need something, I can call Songo's team and they'll show up.
Yeah.
Right? So we are here like wondering, why would you vote for Songo? He's solving a problem on the ground.
He's solving an immediate problem that the people have.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what people need.
Okay.
Because as I said, economically Kenya is not stable.
Okay.
Like the US is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the other thing, like also outside politics, what are maybe some of the strongest reactions you got from viewers from the last episodes about moving from Kenya? Now after the dust had settled. Yes,
that topic resonated so well with people. And can I also give a very big shout out to the Massachusetts Kenyans who watched, but also every state has its own media people. They really reshared that show, and so there was quite a bit of traction at least in my home state in the US is Massachusetts. So there was a huge traction there. But even besides that, I received calls, text messages from friends I had not had in years, wanting to I just want to talk to you about that. Thank you for that conversation. You've made me rethink my entire view of just moving to Kenya. I've met people who've moved back who said, I wish I had that conversation before I had moved to Kenya before. Okay. So it was such a relevant topic at the time. I think it remains a relevant topic today. I think you, if you look at the numbers and the people, we end up having shows out of that one show.
Yes, absolutely.
So there was a huge reckoning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, we are going to go back to that conversation again, especially now that you have more experience. Although you've already announced that you're coming back. I'm calling it giving up, but you have a different definition of it, which is okay.
So I have a question
not giving
for her.
Up. Yes.
Are you going to vote first before you move, or you'll move first then vote, or you'll vote as you move?
I'll figure it out then. I can't make commitments, but yeah.
Okay. Remember, are you registered to vote?
Not yet.
Okay.
But I know where to go register.
Yes. So if you're not registered to vote, you need to know where.
Either way, I'm voting this election. Either way.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to Mika shortly, but what you need to do is to figure out where you will be on August 10th. So once you know that, reverse engineer. If you're going to be in Kenya, you need to be registered in Kenya. If you're going to be in the US, you need to register in the US. If you're going to register in the US, you have a very small window. Okay. The dates have not been announced.
Yes.
But apparently...
Last time it was 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks the last time. I'm hoping it's going to be a bigger window this time.
Yeah.
But we are monitoring what IBC, will announce.
Yeah.
They haven't announced anything, but the people who are talking about it are saying it might be in January and February. We don't know exactly
Which is the same thing they did last time.
Yes, it's the same thing they did the last time.
And they're not going to notice.
And we also don't know. We don't know what additional stations are going to be there for registration. Yes,
but DC will have a station.
Yeah, the ones that are there will still be there.
Okay.
The three, right?
Yeah,
there
DC,
3, right?
DC, New York, and LA. Those ones will still be there.
Okay.
So we don't know whether there'll be additional ones in the US and in other parts of the diaspora.
One or another, I am voting.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Now, let me come to the studio to Omosh, and then I'm going to go to Mika. I want you guys to quickly tell me, talk about diasporans just for a minute. Do we tend to be politically courageous about Kenya because we do not personally have to survive the consequences of our recommendations? DJ Moshfire.
I think so, because we are there's a buffer. We are removed. And I think the repercussions of those votes normally for us I guess hurt us in our pockets, and I'll say it as it is, via black tax. But we are, because we are physically, or should I say we are geographically displaced from people at home.
Disconnected, yes.
Where there's that disconnect of what's actually on the ground. So we tend to put on our diaspora hats based upon what we've last known, which is here, with things and policies and politics that works.
Okay.
So the one at home, the day you figure out that you actually have mastered it is the day when you don't master it. Meaning it's ever changing, it's very fluid, and you roll with the punches. And anybody who's in Kenyan politics will tell you that. In fact, if you're a political science student, Kenyan politics is the best course to take. Because once you go through that stuff, it's mind-boggling. It does not make any sense at all. But as crazy as it doesn't make sense, for us who are here, it works for people at home. Because when it comes down to it, they end up going to elect the person who works for them and can resolve their immediate issues, whether it's by saying, whether it's by giving them bread, whether it's by making sure that there's some CDF funds for kids to go to school, or there's a borehole, or there's, and things that you would say regularly should be there. It's part of what they should do, but those then get dangled as, that low-hanging fruit for the vote.
Okay. All right. Asante sana DJ Moshfire. Let's go to Mika Och. Working from home kama kawa. Mika Och, karibu sana. Please tell us, same question that I gave to Omosh. Are we courageous in the diaspora because we are far removed from the consequences of the recommendations that we give as far as politics is concerned? Mika Och, twende kazi.
Okay, so I want to...
Mika Och, come closer to the mic because we can hardly hear you.
I am closer to the mic, but I'm hearing myself. Like I'm hearing myself.
Oh, you're hearing your echo.
There's an echo.
There's an echo. Okay, sawa. Wacha. We're gonna figure that out, and then we're gonna get back to you. Bandio, you let us know. So again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. You're tuned in to the One Mic Show. And we have Ruth Kilungu in studio. Today we are talking about Kenyan politics from a perspective of America. Like what blind spots do we have? What are those things that we don't realize? Now, Ruth has had an opportunity to live in Kenya, so she's able to see some of those things that we diasporans are not able to see as far as Kenyan politics concerned. Now, the other question, like you already said that you're going to be coming back, but what I was going to ask you, Ruth, is are you maybe finally fully vested on being in Kenya in as far as settling there, or is there any such thing as being fully vested for diaspora returnees, even the diaspora returnees that you're talking to who have settled there and they're not necessarily planning to come back to live in the US? Is there such a thing as being fully vested? Now you're not even thinking about the US, you're now fully settled in Kenya.
There's some who have, right? I think if you move your entire life to Kenya, and by that I mean you have a job, you have a house, you have children, you have family. The people fully, this is where I'm at right now. I have a job in the US. And my work time is very US centric. So in the sense that I work the US time. So that means I start working around 3 p.m. And I'm sometimes way late. I might go to bed at 1 in the morning. And I think for me that is what is making me decide on, I don't think I can do this.
So the working hours.
The working hours are brutal. The timing, because then it's really hard to have a social life, right? Because when the people you want to hang out with are available, you're working, and when you're available, they're working, right?
Okay.
And so you're left with the weekend to do everything. Remember, there's family to visit, there's people to, like, especially, let me say, there's family to visit. Weekend tends to be family time for majority of people. I'm not saying that people don't hang out as friends or whatever, they do, but like there's priority to family over the weekend. And so if I am trying to, like, number one, I'm trying to hang out with my family over the weekend, but also my friends are also hanging out with their family. So really, it's like this. I've been here. I've been trying to see someone for like 6 months.
And it's not working.
And it's not working. So besides family, there's nothing else is in Kenya for me, right? Because the proximity is good. Like kuchukua simu kuongea na mtu na kusema, hey, hello, I'm in town. Let's plan to meet. And there's good intention, but the time is not there.
Now, if the timing was adjusted, let's say if your company allowed you to work on Kenyan time, would you consider,
if my work, not in my company, because my work is based in the US, because
no, I know, but I'm just saying, assuming that they allowed you to work on Kenyan time, 8 to 4, 9 to 5 Kenyan time, would you consider staying?
Yeah.
So that's one reason that you're saying
the biggest
work
reason.
Hours.
Biggest reason.
Okay. So is that an issue for people who have moved to Kenya, or is it or rather for diasporans who moved to Kenya, or is it just Ruth?
I will start with that. That's just me, because the people in Kenya who don't do the second shift. I keep calling it that.
No, I'm talking about the ones who do second shift. The people who are in Kenya doing the second shift.
Oh, they all complain about that.
Okay.
They all complain, but you remember that they're not there long term like I was. Somebody comes for December and they only have like 2-3 weeks to work that shift.
Yeah.
I mean, in December is such an easy month to work from Kenya. The people are willing to be like I also, somebody was in Amboseli while they were working. It's like in the morning I went to Amboseli, I was at Amboseli. I think there was a safari rally at the time. Or someone who is Amanda Mombasa. The people are having fun in December. But like for me, June, like beginning March all the way to October, busy time at work. I don't have time to like do extracurricular activities at the same time.
Okay.
When I'm working.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about hours. That's what's making you come back to the US.
Yeah, because I socially, besides family, I don't see any added benefit.
Okay.
To being in Kenya. Well, there is economic. Like I'm not spending too much money.
Okay.
But like socially, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
good.
That's not. I think Ruth's case is. I'm gonna say specific because of her industry.
Okay.
Like her industry is such that
you have to be there within
and you also have
US business hours.
And you're talking to your clients as well.
Yeah.
And clients could be internally in the company or they could be external, whether you're doing auditing, whether you're going through whatever, and you have to, liaise with folks so that you can balance your stuff. So you have to talk to them US time. But there's some people who work in other industries, maybe somebody who's in IT, who's an application developer, and as long as your deliverable is met, you don't necessarily have to work the US hours as long as you can deliver and then, meet with your reports or the people who you're dealing with to say, hey, okay, I'm handing over, nishaifanya ndio hii, it's posted and it's now available, blah, blah, blah. So some people have that flexibility. And so time is not necessarily a big deal, meaning they can start the day later or they can start it and then they can drop off.
Okay.
So they have a way, and some the people who figured it out, it actually literally works for them.
Yes.
The timing is the biggest issue, or should I say complaint. And once you figured it out, then it really works out because internet speed is not an issue.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I
Even
know.
power.
Yes, I know some companies, like have that idea that you have to be there within the core hours, and the core hours could be anywhere between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So you can adjust your shift based on that little window that they have, or sometimes it's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. But let's go to Mika right now. I think Mika is connected back. Mika, I'm gonna go back to the question that I had today. We are talking siasa. Do people in the diaspora tend to be courageous because we give our recommendations or talk about the Kenyan government and castigate it from a distance and don't have to live with the consequences? Mika, karibu sana.
Thank you, Ali, and welcome back, Ruth, and welcome back to all our listeners. Now, I've been listening to what the others have said, and I've also weighed up that question. And I can say that it depends on who you're looking for when you're saying people from the diaspora, because there are different groupings of people from the diaspora. The people from the diaspora who involve themselves in Kenyan politics, get to know, to understand, and actually go back home and vote. There are people in the diaspora who left Kenya, who, as you've said, the ones who look at it from the prim pink rose glasses, rose-colored glasses, and judge the politics based on where they are. And then there are people who have an interest. This is the younger generation who have an interest back home in Kenya, and they want to get involved in the politics from Kenya because they feel like they want to change back home, but they don't understand the politics in Kenya. And it's not understanding from a part of ignorance or a part of rose-colored glasses, but it's understanding of lack of knowledge. And they get to know, and they get more passionate and more involved with, especially when they speak to their younger kids. So depending on who you're talking to, you're going to get a different variety on how that person looks at the politics in Kenya. There's going to be a ndombolo who understands politics. Yoenda Kenya na vote, anajua kila kitu ya ground. Hata ukienda Kenya ni mjuaji kushinda Mkenya. Utakuwa na mtu amekuja hapa amekaa Borimo miaka kadhaa, amezoea efficiency ya Borimo, mwe maisha yake, anakompewa Matangi na Jonio. Unaona? Alafu sasa kuna mwenye amezaliwa huku, alikuwa myang, anaona vitu, mtoto wangu akiona mimi nikiona YouTube anaona siasa ya Kenya na kuwa interested, because anasema watu wafai kufanya hivyo, anataka kukuwa involved. Ajui siasa ya Kenya. So atakanikana kuja from a perspective of where anakuja na pedo, but after a while akishai understand, then you find they get actually more passionate and these are the people actually who go and changamsha the young people, the bases there. Remember, activism in Africa ilikuwa inaenda hand in hand with the black movement here. So these people, once they started talking to the people who are fighting for independence in Africa, and with the black groups over here, these black groups are the ones who actually were educating the Africans and telling them, fanyeni hivi na hivi, mnaweza fight hivi, mnaweza fanya hivi. So depending from which angle you're looking at it, you can paint the brush of how the diaspora is looking at it. But yes, there is a privilege they look at it, but it depends from which angle they're coming from.
Okay, all right, quite interesting. So